Alright, this is a short little class on basic pumping. My name is Chris Henderson. I'm an engineer here at Orange County. I've got about 10 years in the fire service and 4 years as an engineer. This class is just going to give you basic skills necessary for pumping 2 attack lines. It's by no means going to make you an engineer, just give you, the basic skills and some of the vocab and things like that. Alright, the responsibilities of an engineer are obviously getting water to the hose lines, along with all the equipment on the fire truck, positioning the fire truck in the correct position. It's the first level promotion in the fire service. Young firefighters get a chance to ride up as engineer and kind of practice as little as 2 years on the job. You need to have 2 years, and you need to have a pump operators class in order to ride up. Requirements for promotion are actually 3 years on the job, and then the pump operators class also. First of all, we've got a couple of principles of pressure, which I'm not going to go too in detail of these, but if you do decide to become an engineer, understanding these principles of pressure will make your job a little easier. You understand what's going on inside the pump, what's going on with your pressures. And friction loss is the big calculation you'll be doing as an engineer. Friction loss is the loss of pressure created by the turbulence of water moving against the interior walls of hose or pipe. So just the water getting roughed up by the pipe and hose slows it down, basically. We're going to use the hand method outside, which is pretty common, real world, or we also call it street method or rough rule. Uses the rule of 12s, which you're going to use an adjustable fog, and depending on your GPMs, it'll be 120, 100, 125, 150, 175, 200. And that's going to be 12 times 1, 12 times 2, 12 times 3, 12 times 4. That gives you your friction loss per 100 feet of hose. Alright, first thing you'll need to do is put the engine in pump gear. So you'll come to a complete stop. You'll shift into neutral. You will apply your parking brake and shift your transfer switch from road to pump. You're going to select the appropriate gear, which is going to be 4th gear on the E1. You'll notice you'll get 2 lights on your dash saying its truck is in pump and it's okay to pump. At that point, you'll check all your gauges, make sure they're in normal operating range. You'll press on your accelerator and make sure your truck doesn't drive away. If it drives away, you're not in pump gear. If it doesn't, you're safe to exit the cab. Next thing, safety first. You're going to put your wheel chocks out just in case it jumps into gear and tries to drive away. You're going to check your pump panel, checking all your gauges again, make sure they're in normal operating range, and pull your tank to pump lever, which is going to give you water from your tank to your pump. Charging your first line. You're going to have a firefighter pull the desired line from the hose bed. You're going to check and make sure that the entire hose came out of the hose bed. Next, you're going to confirm that the line that you're about to charge is the line that the firefighter pulled. At that point, you can pull your line, pull your lever completely. You're going to select PSI on your governor. You're going to calculate your correct friction loss and engine pressure using the hand method, and you're going to increase your throttle to your desired pressure. Now that that line is flowing, you're running out of tank water, so you need to connect to a hydrant. First thing to do is remove your intake cap. You're going to connect your LDH, which is connected to the fire hydrant, and you're going to open your intake bleeder, allowing the air to come out of the hose and fill with water. At this point you will call for water. You will move out of the area and stand in a safe position in case the hose blows off the intake. Once it is fully charged, you can approach the pump panel again, close your air bleeder, switch your governor back into RPM mode, or switch it into RPM mode at this point, and begin to open your intake valve, which is located right here. You'll be opening that butterfly valve inside there, allowing hydrant water into the pump. You're going to have incoming pressure from the hydrant, so your truck is not going to have to work so hard, so you will decrease your throttle as you open your intake. Once you control your pressure spike by slowly increasing or decreasing the throttle, then you can completely open the valve. You're going to close tank to pump because you no longer need to work off of tank water, and you can switch back into PSI mode, which gives them a pressure relief valve. At this point you can crack your tank to fill and rob a little water out of your intake to replenish your tank. Now you're ready to charge your second line. Again, you're going to ensure that the firefighter pulled the hose line completely from the hose bed. You're going to confirm that the line you're about to charge is the line that he pulled, and you're going to slowly pull your desired discharge valve. Calculate your pressure using your hand method again. Increase your throttle to the desired pressure, and depending on which line has the higher PSI, the first or second line, you will gate down the lower one to the desired PSI. After that, you will be able to safely shut down all your lines. You do this by putting your governor into idle, slowly closing all discharge, shut down your hydrant, bleed off the pressure off of your intake hose, and then you can remove it. That's the conclusion of the PowerPoint. I'm going to go outside and do the demonstration on the engine now. Any questions? Alright, so now we're outside at the truck. We're just going to review a couple of things that we talked about inside before we get started. Some of the key points: the pressure governor we'll be using. We got an idle mode. We'll put you in RPM or PSI, and you can do increase or decrease to increase your throttle. We're going to be using the tank fill. We're going to use our front jump line and our discharge 3. Tank to pump is located here. That'll bring your water from your tank to your pump. This is our opener for our intake valve, which is butterfly valve inside here, and our air bleeder. All our gauges are up top. Your master discharge, and then your line discharge. We got our tank indicator, level indicator, and our wheel chocks are located here. We're going to put them out under the tire. Inside the cab, we're going to be using the shifter to go from drive to neutral and then pump gear. The parking brake is located at your right knee down here, and the transfer switch for the pump. You'll be going from road to pump. Check your dash gauges here. Alright, at this point I'll go ahead and do a demonstration of how it's going to go. Complete stop. Pull your parking brake. The truck in neutral. At this point you can switch your transfer switch from road to pump and select your appropriate gear, which is 4th gear, pump gear. I got my 2 lights on my dash, some 2 lights. Pump engaged and OK to pump. My gauges are all in normal operating range. I hit my accelerator and the truck does not drive away. firefighter has pulled the front jump line, it's fully extended. I'm going to charge the front jump line. He's ready for water. Opening completely. I'm going to select PSI. I'll do my hand method and give him the appropriate pressure. I'm going to say he's flowing 125 GPM at 100 feet. So 100, 125. That's going to be 12 times 2, which is 24 per 100. It's 100 feet. So the correct discharge pressure will be 124. We'll pump it at 120 since we do not have increments of 4 on it. The discharge pressure is at 120. I'm pulling water on the front jump line. I'm using up my tank water, so now I need to connect to a fire hydrant. First thing I'll do is remove my intake cap. Connect my intake hose. Open my air bleeder. Drop the water and go to a safe position. Spike is controlled, I can completely open my intake valve. The green light indicating that the butterfly valve is completely open. I'll put my truck back into PSI, effectively giving them a pressure relief valve. I can close the tank to pump since we're no longer operating off the tank water. I can crack my tank fill to start to refill my water tank. Check my gauges, everything is in normal operating range. I'm still flowing at 120. Still flowing at 120 on this line. I'm ready to charge my second line. My second line is discharge 3. I'll check and make sure that the line is pulled completely off discharge 3 and that the firefighter is ready for water. Slowly charge the line. I pull it all the way out, effectively these lines are equalized. I do my hand method calculation, which we're going to say he's flowing 150 at 100 feet. So 12, 24, 36 per 100 at 100 feet. That's going to be 136 will be my engine pressure. This line is lower at 124, so I'm going to gate it down as I increase that one. slowly close the discharge. Open my tank pump just to allow water to circulate. Shut down the hydrant. Completely closed my intake valve. I can begin bleeding the water out the intake line. At this point I can take the engine out of pump. Once the line is bled down, I can disconnect. That is it.